Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at NECA's Gargoyles Elisa Maza. I think I pronounced that right. And I'm just going to say I am super excited for this. This is one of the figures that I've definitely been waiting for. Not because it's a female, because I don't really care. I just like good figures. And I gotta say, everything that I've seen on this figure has looked awesome. And I'm anxious to see how well NECA does this figure, because I know the Ashes from Army of Darkness and Evil Dead, they look nice. They leave a lot to be desired. The gargoyles look really awesome, but they're so big and bulky. This figure, she looks awesome. So there's the artwork on the front of it, and you can see Goliath is there. Open this up and you can see she is screaming to get out of that plastic prison. I know some people have talked about how maybe the hips seem too big. We're gonna find out. I know I saw it at PowerCon through some glass and it didn't look all that bad. There she is. So there's a side of her. All right. She comes with a couple different accessories, but what she doesn't come with is a gun. So what we're gonna do is take some of these Valibers guns and we're gonna see how well they fit in her hand, because guess what? She has trigger fingers. So there you go. A little bit of cross-sell, cross here. Here's some other pictures of her. And of course, she includes Brooklyn's wings. So we gotta bring him up here so we can look at Brooklyn and make sure that, hey, you know what? Let's see how these wings look. So anyway, let's not waste any more time. You don't want to look at me. You want to look at this how I want to look at this. Before we do, if you like the Gargoyles content that I'm giving you, and I know you have, because there's not a lot of people putting out the content out there of the Gargoyles NECA figures, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, so you're notified every time I do drop a Gargoyles video. Now let's take a look at this, and again, not this. All right, she is out of her plastic prison, and let's just say, well, guess what? We had to bring Brooklyn over, but more than anything, we had to have him here, basically telling Elf, you know what, you leave the kitty alone. Now this kitty doesn't have much articulation, just the head turns, but quickly looking at it, the eyes look pretty good. It definitely has a smile face, but it's not gonna like seeing Elf coming. But I think Elf's gonna kind of get the hint with Brooklyn kind of letting him know, hey, you know what, you just leave the cat alone. So anyway. Looks pretty good. Again, not much articulation. It's not going to be like the classified timber. But again, it's just going to be there. Your little static pose right there. And then we have Brooklyn's wings. Now, I don't know. I've mentioned this before. The wings are not my biggest issue when it comes to the gargoyle. It's the tails, because you really need to use them to stand up. But I think Brooklyn has the worst wings. Now, also, it was pointed out, I completely missed, that he's missing a claw. So that was a mistake on my part when I did the review. And I will drop a link to the Brooklyn review at the end of this. But here are his draped wings. Now, his wings are they're just straight out. The other ones, at least, are curved and everything. His, I swear, they cause so many problems when I try and pose them. So I'm so happy that I will get these draped wings on. So quickly, we'll take a look at the draped wings. The inside here, nice detail to it. You know, you just have all these scales through it, so it looks really sharp. And then when you look at the back side, it obviously has some sort of wash to it. So it's just not one color. It's hard to kind of pick up here, but everything is very pliable. So it's going to drape right over. And of course, it has his two little claws or hands or whatever you want to call it. And then they just plug right into the back. So I am happy as hell to get this, get these wings for this figure. So she does come with the flashlight also. Now it's just painted yellow. That's the only app that looks like this on it. Oh, wait a minute, I guess a little red button. So that looks pretty nice. Not bad. Who doesn't need a mag light for their figures? She comes with her police detective badge, which, again, this will be the thing that is worth the most amount of money. And it looks like it says, lift my glasses up and see if I can actually read it. 1672. Is that right? I could be completely wrong. Maybe this was in an episode. Again, I mentioned before, I really like the Gargoyles. It's been a long time since I watched it. I kept meaning to rewatch it, but time. All right, so she does come with 3 sets of hands. She comes with 2 trigger fingers, again, no pistols, and then she has the hand so she can hold her detective's badge, and then she has the thumb wrestling hand, which she can use for many other things. Then she has her 2 fist hands that she comes with. So she has 3 faces and 2 different sets of hair. So quickly, we'll take a look at this one. It looks like it's just going to plug in there. We're going to mess around with that, see how it looks. She kind of has a little smirk. She looks like some sort of AI, just looking at it like this, but the eyes look really good. The eyebrows look good. Even Roman, you heard him in the background. He said the same thing. She has a definite smirk, and without hair, it looks very, very robotic, very futuristic. Here is her flowing hair, which I really like this hair. I think it's probably my favorite hair. She's obviously on top talking to Goliath or one of the other gargoyles. And again, just looking at this, the eyes look really good. She has a nice, somewhat of a smile to her. You can see her eyes. And I love how the hair is just kind of flowing in the wind. And if you look at it, you can definitely see it does have some paint wash through it. It's a purple, which, you know, when people dye their hair super black, it comes off to a purplish tint. And I think this looks absolutely awesome. And it is pliable, all right? But how much is it going to cause a problem? Can she move around? We've already seen some issues with the gargoyles. Again, you look right here at Brooklyn, and I have to move the wings around to get the hair on the other side. If you saw my Xanatos video, then you realize like the ponytail kind of gets in the way. So now, there goes her head. So as I showed you, I did believe that it just kind of pops off. So it's just a nice square. It's gonna pop on. And let's see how this head, how this face looks on there. So that one also looks really good. And it fits really nice. I mean, it really works. I know with the classified Shipwreck, I don't think the hairpiece looks really good, but the sailor cap looks awesome. So, all right, so let's take a look at her. And this face, again, looks really nice. She has more of a smile here. Paint apps, eyes look really good. And same with the hair. It has that purple or dark blue. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. I want to say it's purple through it. I don't think it shows up that well, at least where I'm looking through. So, look at her articulation. So, I will say this, NECA does not have the greatest articulation. So, her T-pose isn't all that great. She does have double elbows and bicep swivel, not pinless. Her wrists are going to turn back and forth, so she has this wrist swivel. Jean-Claude Van Damme, not very good, but she has very tight pants on. Maybe they're not the stretch jeans, and maybe that's the reason why. She can kick up. I always forget to show how much people can kick up. Now, if you move it too much, they definitely have that diaper look. The NECA does. Now, the thing with NECA, this is a very pliable piece here. The waist area. So you are able to move to make it kind of bend with it. But I'm not a big fan of it. You can see once you do it, it kind of sticks out. And her waist swivels, but she does not have any. I guess she moves up and down a little bit. And then here we have double knee joints. Again, nothing was heated here. She has her ankle rockers. She has her ankle rockers. Unfortunately, I don't think she twists back and forth. And since she has no boot cut, and there's a perfect spot for a tight rolled pants. Not tight rolled pants. That is awesome. And no thigh. we're going to have some limitations with this posability. There's no doubt about it. I'm trying to see. This looks, I mean, the knee feels kind of weak. That's disappointing. Both knees actually feel pretty weak, so we're going to have to be very careful with this. I know my Demona, the ankle had kind of popped out. So, it's still not the greatest plastic. Again, I think that Elf is amazing. So, they were able to stand her quickly. Let's pop off a hand. I'm going to put a trigger finger on her. Now, she is a 7-inch scale figure. So, let's grab that Stalker right here. So, she does stand a little bit taller than Stalker, who is a 6-inch G.I. Joe figure, if you don't know. So, she is a little bit taller. So, let's see. What gun should we try for? Unfortunately, I have a lot of the newer Valiverse guns. I was thinking one of the bigger ones was going to fit. But I think that might just be too big. Where we have, let's see, this. So the gold pistol seems to fit pretty well, which is like a 45. And I do believe I have a black version of this, which would probably fit her even better. Now, can I even get her to... I guess that's the best that I'm going to get her to shoot straight. Again, leaving a little bit to the imagination. When you pull her arms up, they go out. So, I'm going to have to do some playing around. But let's take a look at the design of it. See how everything looks other than the face. So, just looking at the jacket that she's wearing. So, you can see the shirt underneath it. And it does protrude out. So, it's not just painted on there. This has actually protruded out. So, it gives you some depth. A nice red wash. You can tell that it's worn. You can see where the zippers are supposed to be in some nice silver. I don't see it really bleeding anywhere. Even up top here, we can see where it's painted. So it has some nice paint apps to it. And the wash, I think, looks really nice. Then you look at the jeans, and these are definitely some stone wash jeans. Get it? Stone wash jeans. I'll be here all week, guys. Believe me, I will. I have so many figures that I've had to review. But looking at it, you can see around the lines, just when we used to see like this type of stone wash jean back in the day, where it would be the white, and then around the seams and stuff, it's usually a little bit darker. I think they did a wonderful job. The tight roll pants, I absolutely love. I think we all tight rolled our pants at some point. We may not want to admit it, but hey, we did it. Then you have her boot here. Now, I'm going to say there's no paint apps to it, but the reflection of the light kind of makes it look like there's some silver to it, but it is just black. So all in all, it is a sharp-looking figure. Yes, the waist does seem to go out a little bit, so you can get her legs in there. Not nearly as bad as, let's say, the Chitara for Super 7 Ultimates, but they do. I can understand where people kind of complain, but they're action figures. Now, what face should we go with? Like I said, I like this hair. I kind of like the smirk here. So let's just pop the head off. There's a small little dumbbell peg right there. And I think that's my favorite so far. I think it looks the best. She's got to have a pistol so she can be fighting Demona. That is for sure. So I think that looks really nice. I like this hair. It's flowing. It's not too bad. You can turn her head back and forth. So that's kind of a plus over some of the other gargoyles. Let's try this one here. Oof. Maybe. You know, I never really seem to have this much of an issue moving stuff around until I get on camera, and then all of a sudden my hands become super slick. I start dropping everything. But you're trying to do everything in front of the camera. Alright, so she's able to move her head side to side. Now it starts to look down. She can't really look up, not all that much, because that hair, even though it is pliable, we can kind of pull it back. But if we were to take this off, that's only how far she can move up her head anyway. So let's throw this hair on it. This is the one that I like. Actually, I like them both, to be honest. And I like that these companies are doing swappable faces with different hairs and hats and different things like that. G.I. Joe, Hasbro with G.I. Joe did it with Lady J, Zorana, and Shipwreck. And they're going to be doing it with the Wild Bill for the HasLab. So I do like that. It kind of keeps down costs by not making a whole new head. So there we go here. Kind of grab her flashlight. Now, I have a feeling, you know what we need to do. So you want to have her hold the flashlight. I'm just going to say, that hand is made. All right, we know she likes Goliath. We know they have a thing going. Just going to leave it at that. All right. So is the hand on a hinge? So there's a hinge on it. So technically, I should be able to get it down like that. So she can be pointing her flashlight as she's looking for her cat. Try and save it from Elf. And we're going to put her little, as the trigger hand. Here is her hand. So she can show her badge when she runs into Elf or a gargoyle. I don't think gargoyles are going to care that much. So, this hand actually twists in so you can get a better look at it. So she's able to hold it. So all in all, it's a good looking figure. Is it going to be one you want to buy for your kids to play with? Probably not. But you can already see how the legs kind of bow out. That is disappointing. But other than that, I do like the figure. So now let's take a look here. That's my first impression of it real quick. Let's quickly take a look at Brooklyn's wings, and let's get this thing off. Let's get his, yeah, I can't think of the name of that for some reason. Someone will tell me. Gonna pop off the wings. And there goes Elf. Again, these wings are huge. And yes, I'm not one to really complain about the wings so much. I actually do like the size of the wings. But pop his head off. I'm going to put the wings down. And again, they're going to peg in. Got to peg right in here. I know I've said peg so many times. It sounds wrong. I know if you guys have dirty minds. I apologize. Or maybe I don't apologize. You determine how you like things yourself. Alright. So, those are in there. Look how so much less space. Probably can even get away with not using the tail per se. Now let's take our head. Pop the head right on. Now the one issue that I can say when it comes to the folded wings is you actually lose a little bit of articulation in the head, because now some of it may be in the back causing a problem. But we definitely have to get him with his glasses on, because now he just looks super cool. So looking at him here, wings look really nice. Takes up a lot less space. This is one wing. Seriously. One wing. It's not even on the camera. That's just how big this wing is. And again, this is the one that bothered me the most. So, there you go. If you have Brooklyn, you need the draped wings. And you need Elisa, right? Elisa Maza. I want to keep saying Eliza because I'm seeing the Maza. Anyway, I know someone's going to correct me, but that's okay. I got it. And here it is, your review. If you like it, go out and pick it up. It is a nice looking figure. Alright, so my final thoughts on this figure is I think it looks amazing. I love the 3 different face sculpts. along with the 2 different hairs, and you're not going to have to worry about those falling off. The figure itself looks really good. The paint looks wonderful, like a lot of the NECA stuff. When it comes to playability, posability, there is a lot to be left. They give you a good amount of accessories, especially considering you're going to get the Brooklyn wings, which you definitely need. Again, I like the badge. I like the flashlight and the cat, but she really did need a pistol. Now, me having a pistol, not a big deal. Again, if you're all in on the line, if you just want the main characters, this is a must-have, and you're not going to have a problem. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the look of her, but if you want to get her in any type of dynamic poses, it is something that you're going to be left to desire with. I think you can get a lot more with the gargoyles than what NECA does with their human figure. So I would definitely be interested to see how Xanatos comes out looking, being a male. I'm assuming it's going to be almost the same. Alright, so there you have it. That's my Elisa Maza video. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. I know I keep saying Elisa and Maza. It's like totally tongue-tied. I look at the name, you start getting things wrong. I apologize. This is supposed to be a fun review to give you an idea whether or not it's something you want to pick up. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. I've given you my thoughts on the figure. I do think it looks nice. It is everything. Roman even says the same thing. You guys heard him. He's like, you know what? Come on. You like it? Let's get going. So I'm going to get out of here. But I'm going to ask that, hey, you know what? If you're on social media, if you're on Facebook, join Punks with Toys on Instagram. I'm sorry. No. See, this is what happens. On Facebook, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. A Punk with Toys. Roman is now roaming around here. He really wants to get me out of here. He really wants to get outside. Don't you want to go outside? There he is. So anyway, don't leave right now, okay? Take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so I can get down here, get outside, get roaming out. But don't leave. Take a second. Up here, I'm going to put the Brooklyn so you can see what he looks like without the wings. And here is going to be the gargoyle playlist of all the other gargoyles that I reviewed. Take care now.